All right, so now we're going to talk about the chamfer command. So to start, we need to first understand a few things. So to define a chamfer, you need two things. So either an angle and a distance, or two distances. So here, for example, I'm defining the chamfer by these two dimensions. Okay, or I can simply define only an angle, 30 degrees, and one dimension. Or the most common chamfer, which is 45 degrees, and then you would also define the other dimension, define one dimension, and then the other dimension will be equal. So that's the way to define a chamfer to AutoCAD. So let's examine now the command. So you type in chamfer, and then press the down arrow, you're going to get these options. So first thing, you can define, you want to use an angle or a distance, which is the method, which is the same thing as defining the method here. So if you define a distance, so it tells you specify the first distance, let's say it's 1, and then it tells you specify the second distance, let's say 3, and then you select two lines, and then the chamfer is created. Okay, so let me repeat, chamfer. And then if you want to create a chamfer using a distance, it asks you for the first distance. So let's make it 1. The second distance, let's make it 2. And then you select two lines, and then you create the chamfer. And then if you want to double check, you're going to get this dimension is going to be 1. And then the second dimension from here to here is going to be 2. All right. The second way to do a chamfer is by an angle. So let's go to the chamfer command. You go click an angle, and then it tells you specify the length. It still has to specify length. So let's put 1. And then now you specify an angle. Here it's 45. Let's make it 60. And then now you pick two lines. And then to double check, this dimension is going to be 1. And then if we define this angular dimension, this is 30, so this one is 60. There you go. This one is not needed. Okay, so this is how we define to do a chamfer in AutoCAD. So you can do that, for argument's sake, if you started doing a chamfer, and you can pick a method. So I want to do it by angle, and then I started, and then oops, I made a mistake. I can then go to method, and then it says enter the trim method. So let's say A, which means, oh, I picked an angle, so let's make it a distance. So you pick distance, so it's going to be 1 and 1, and then you pick the second one, and then it does it for you. Okay, so this is how to create a chamfer. Let's go now to see the options in the chamfer command. So a polyline, you've seen it before. It basically, if you select a polyline, it does a chamfer on all the sharp edges. Okay, this is what it does. I don't like this. This is not the right chamfer. I want to have a 45-degree chamfer. Then I go to angle, and then let's say I want a 3 and a 45-degree chamfer, and then I pick, then it created the chamfer. So that's the polyline. The other one is trim. Okay, so here the option is trim. So if I select these two, it's gonna cut. And then let's do it in a 45-degree, which is my favorite. I'm gonna pick an angle. I'm gonna make it 3 and then 45, and then I'm selecting these two, and then it created a chamfer. One more option. So we did the distance, the polyline, the trim, and then multiple, same as you've seen, is if you want to create multiple chamfers all at a time. So You pick this one, then you pick this one, then you pick this one, and then this one, and so on and so forth. All right, so that's about it for the Chamfer command.